Welcome, everyone, to this explainer. Today, we are kicking off a visually stunning journey into the streets of a city famous for its vibrant, enthusiastic, and honestly sometimes mind-boggling street food culture, Ahmedabad. If you're a foodie, buckle up. We're about to dive into a world of intense spices, unexpected sweetness, and a whole lot of delicious surprises.
Okay, let's dive straight into this. Have you ever imagined a sandwich where the bread is loaded with cold, sweet rabdi and then topped with a mountain of chocolate? I know, right? We usually limit our idea of Gujarati food to dokla or fafda, but the street food scene in Ahmedabad, right now, it is pushing boundaries with extreme, totally unexpected fusion foods that will literally blow your mind. It's not just cooking anymore, it's a wild experiment.
So here's today's menu. We'll start with a quick look at Ahmedabad's street food vibe, then explore the magic of cheese and fusion that's taking over the internet. After that, we'll uncover the famous Jamnagar Gugra, visit a 42-year-old chola fali stall, and finally map out this entire Gujarati taste journey. Let's get started. Section 1. Ahmedabad's street food. Now, the moment you hit the streets of Ahmedabad, the first thing that hits you is the absolute passion the locals have for their food. They don't just eat, they celebrate it. And what's really fascinating is their absolute confidence. Listen to this. When a local foodie was asked if Ahmedabad's food would be the best out there, the answer was an immediate, unhesitating 100%. That's the local pride beating in the heart of this city. They know their flavors are simply unmatched. Moving on to Section 2. The magic of cheese and fusion.
So, riding on that local confidence, our first stop is a beloved local spot called Jai Shri Sandwich. Now, you might be thinking these crazy cheese-loaded Instagram viral dishes are just some recent fad. But here is the crucial point. Take a look at this number 25. That's not just a random figure. That is a 25-year legacy. This stall has been transforming the sandwich culture in Ahmedabad for 2.5 decades. It's not a passing trend. It's a hardcore culinary sensation.
Just look at how they put together their famous paneer masala sandwich. First, they drop in a massive, literally giant chunk of paneer. Then it gets absolutely drenched in spicy, tangy tandoori sauces. And to finish it off, an endless torrential downpour of cheese. It is a massive explosion of both flavor and, yeah, definitely calories. But wait, it gets crazier. Forget the cheese for a second, because we have to talk about the rabdi chocolate sandwich. Sounds bizarre, right? Well, it actually started when a customer brought their own chocolate and asked the vendor to put it on bread. The vendor decided to throw in a sweet rabdi twist, and boom. Today, this crazy invention sells about 100 pieces every single day because, shockingly enough, it makes for an absolutely phenomenal dessert. All right, on to Section 3, the famous Jamnagar Gugra. After that sugar rush, let's look at a traditional dish that plays a massive visual trick on anyone visiting from out of state. If you're from North India, you'd look at this and immediately think, oh, that's gujja. It has the exact same shape, that same crispy flour exterior. But look closer. Gujarat's Gugra might look like its sweet cousin, but it is entirely savory and spicy. Instead of sweet mawa, it is stuffed with a spiced potato and pea filling. It's a total culinary illusion. The reaction is always the same. People take a bite, expecting a sugary dessert, and bam, their taste buds get hit with a spicy, savory shock. And when you pair this piping hot, deep-fried snack with a pungent garlic and red chili chutney, plus some green chutney, sev, and peanuts, it just elevates it to a whole new level of amazing. So just to be crystal clear on what this is, a gugra is a deep-fried pastry originating from Jamnagar. It's got that crispy maida shell on the outside and a mildly spiced potato mix on the inside. It's an incredibly popular evening snack in Gujarat. And it's a perfect example of how the exact same shape of food can hold a completely different cultural identity depending on where you are. Section 4. 42-year-old chola fali. Let's move to our final stop and see how this builds. We're stepping away from the modern fusion trends and focusing on an incredibly pure, historic Gujarati snack. Look at this number, 42. This shop started as a tiny street cart 42 years ago and has scaled into a massive, highly demanded operation. Maintaining the exact same quality of a single snack for over 4 decades and keeping that level of customer trust, that is no small feat. The dish is called chola fali, or sometimes chora fari. Visually, it almost looks like a puffed-up version of fafda. It is made entirely from pure besan or gram flour and deep-fried until it's flaky and incredibly crispy. Culturally, it's a huge deal during Diwali, but honestly, the demand for this stuff is sky-high all year round. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly why this 42-year-old stall remains number one. While typical street vendors might cut corners by mixing flours or using cheap palm oil, this historic shop absolutely refuses to compromise. They still use 100% pure Basan and fresh, high-quality cooking oil. They're so strict about their quality that they've actually turned down franchise requests from places like London and Russia just to maintain their standards. Now that is serious dedication.
But the real magic is in the eating experience. Picture this. You've got this piping hot, paper-thin, crispy chola fali. You dip it into a cold, vibrant, spicy green chutney. That thin gram flour acts literally like a sponge, soaking up all those amazing flavors. The contrast between the hot, flaky snack and the cold, spicy dip creates the ultimate sensory bite. You've got to try it to believe it.
Section 5, the Gujarati Taste Journey. As we zoom out and look at the broader picture in this explainer, you can see that Ahmedabad street food is a beautiful city of contrasts. On one hand, you have these wild, crazy fusion experiments heavily loaded with cheese and butter, like that rabdi sandwich, catering to a modern craze. On the other hand, you have deeply rooted historical snacks where vendors refuse to compromise on pure ingredients even after 40 years. And tying it all together, the incredibly sweet, welcoming local vendors who just genuinely love to feed people. So, I want to leave you with this thought. You've seen the absolute madness of the cheese and chocolate fusions at Jai Shri Sandwich, and you've witnessed the crispy, 42-year-old pure tradition of the chola fali. If you are standing on the streets of Ahmedabad right now, which side of this food scene would you dive into first? The crazy modern fusion or the historic legacy? Let that simmer for a bit. Thanks so much for joining us on this explainer, and we will see you next time.